Good day. One thing about being one that stands for truth, one that is religious about truth, one that is chosen by God to spread truth, and is humble enough to always be learning new truth and higher truth, is in that religiosity around that truth, the necessity to speak the truth regardless of outcome or situation, is you're going to have to get good at standing alone. There's a song that I listened to recently, I've been listening to recently, and I'll put it down below, but it's like, if you stand for the truth, you'll always stand alone. And he's like, do we believe in righteousness anymore? Does the world believe in righteousness anymore? You know, we have all these ideas that pathologize people for being self-righteous. And so people are scared to even show any righteousness in fear of being judged for being a self-righteous person. And there is obviously pathological self-righteousness, but I'm not going to get into that at the moment. I think a lot of times there's people that are trying to be righteous and they're struggling, so they seem like hypocrites. And there's some people that just speak BS and they are just hypocrites. But if you are truly behind truth and you're always standing behind the truth, you definitely have to know that you're going to be isolated. However, those isolation periods, and there could be many of them, you're going to learn so much more in those times. And you're going to level up. The Most High God is giving you that strength to stand alone. And with that connection to God, you realize you're not alone. You're actually connected to all of everyone. And there's a sense of belonging when you can see the Lord is in your favor. Those who have lots and lots of friends in these times, you have to wonder if they really even know who they are, or if they don't want to know the truth, because that will pull them away from people. So they just follow the group, follow the herd. I believe that those that stand behind truth all the time, there's lots of you out there, you are so much more important than you think. I'm a real huge believer in the collective consciousness. I've seen the same ideas being spread just instantaneously after they come into my mind. And I know that there's lots of us that are receiving these messages at the same time, and it's being spread out to the world. And so the more of us that are receiving it, the more the collective consciousness pushes forward. Whether you think people are listening or not, if you are behind truth, and you are behind the Lord God, and you are pushing to be the best that you can be, you've already won. Even if you think in the worst case scenario that you've spoke all this truth and it's pushed everybody away, you start to not be able to pay your bills or feed yourself. Those are the fears that come in. So then people are forced back into lying, or forced back into not being the truth or speaking the truth. And what I would say to anybody that gets to that point, because there is a lot of times that's part of the struggle we have to go through, is to lose everything and still have faith in the Lord. Just like Job. I believe that there's so many people out there that have powers, but they can't control them. They don't understand them. they don't believe them. And it's those powers, those little intuitions, those little magical things that happen that they decide to not believe in, separates the ones that are called from the ones that are chosen. Many, many, many are called, but very, very few are chosen. The reason that few become the chosen one are because they've fallen into their fear. They have been scared to give up the old world that they used to live in. It's time to give it up. That old world is coming to an end. It might take 10 more years for the last of the Babylon to fall. And many people are going to stay in that timeline. They're going to stay in that world. Right up till the collapse. Till it collapses right on their head. The rest of us are already building this world. And I have to say to all of you that are going through the same thing as I'm going through and are feeling that amazing power from the Lord that He's praising you with, and that truth and wisdom that's being put onto your shoulders, go towards the wisdom. Don't go towards the material world. The material world will eventually see you for what you are. Some will never see it. And that's not an issue. The truthful people are the powerful people. The truthful people will see the truth in you. And those are the 10% that are going to save us. They're the heirs of salvation. So keep shining your light. Shine it everywhere you go. You're going to be shining that you're going to be shining that light into other people's darkness, and they're going to attack or run, or they may befriend you, and that's a lot of what Satan is, kill with kindness. That's a pretty sociopathic way of living your life, and that's a lot of what business people do. Is they tell you all of these lovely things to get you close, and then stab you in the back. The ones that fight you, just stand behind your truth, look them in the eye, and they have lost already. Those who run, so be it. Be very vigilant about those who befriend. However, those who befriend can only take so much of your energy if they're not standing in the light of truth. They'll likely run in time. Especially if you never give them an opening to stab you in the back. We're coming to the time where the turtle wins the race. Don't be any rush right now. Let God take you to where you need to be. Don't say no to things that you know are good for you, to people that you know are good for you, to challenges in the world. Don't say no to the hero's journey whenever it comes up. Don't say no to fighting the dragons. There's tons of dragons that hang around. And they're inside some of your family, they're inside some of your friends. They're inside you. And we need to come against those dragons. You've already won. God has chosen you. the more that you push against that darkness, the more that you build resiliency to be alone and to push through those lower vibrations, you're going to keep leveling up. And eventually you're going to get to a point where you'll be controlling the rhythm in the energies. Well, you won't be controlling them. Let's say you'll be riding the waves of the universe because you can see them and know when they begin and when they end, instead of just being thrashed around in the waves with no idea of how to ride the swell. There'll never ever be utopia in this material realm. However, you can create a utopia in your spirit and in your mind. All is mind. Much love and God bless. Do you guys want to say hi? Hi, Ruby. Teacher Ruby? Santa Kanga Bunga? Oh yeah, good puppies.